And now, Jabroni Studios, in association with Big Herm Productions, is proud to present to you, recording from an undisclosed location in Oakdale, Connecticut, it's Chris Burns, it's Chris Lynn.
No, Matt Marsh. This is Dysfunction Junction. I changed it up. Fuck it.
Fuck yeah.
There we go. Fuck
See?
yeah.
Executive decision.
I don't often get to do that, so I'm kind of surprised.
No, I was like, I'm going to change this shit up. There is no Matt Marsh. I don't have to do it, but I'm going to fucking pause it.
Well, Herm did all the work, so he gets all the credit. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, strap in. We took a week off, and the world has gone to hell.
Strap on. Strap it on. That is.
Depending on which side you're on, you're either the strapper or the strappee. We don't know yet.
We're not sure yet.
Chris Burns here, along with the Possum King himself,
Chris Lynch,
the producer extraordinaire, the man with no hair,
ripping fat hits off a bong.
It's pretty too. Look at the color.
It is pretty.
Hello.
It's
this is Herm.
Big Herm, Michael P.S. Herman.
This is Herman 4K. What is up? Look at me.
Don't get him. No, stop. No, we only have 90 minutes. We don't need.
Herm has a new camera.
Here we go.
Herm bought a new toy.
Show the kids. No, you know what? That's what I'm going to say.
I turned the camera off because it was causing lag. But
no, because I got my Dr. Pepper cherry. I got my Moxie. But if we're going to have this discussion that we're going to have tonight, shut up.
Little with the Dr. Pepper cherry, but the sweetened tobacco juice has got to go.
Listen, you uncultured swine.
If we're going
to have this discussion that we're about to have tonight about the state of the world, I am going to need a beer or two. No, that's
I have 2-week-old dip spit right here in this bottle that probably tastes better than that fucking Moxie.
Probably not.
I wonder if the auto.
I bet you.
Does it like focus auto?
Go ahead. I'll drink my Moxie.
I like it.
That bottom.
Focuses right out, and then so if we're showing shit, it comes right back. It's nice. That's nice.
All right. So before I go upstairs, Lynch, if you're that sure of yourself, here's what we're gonna do.
It's fucking hailing.
I'm gonna.
Do what I hear?
Yeah,
popping corn.
How big is that shit?
If you're gonna challenge me, you drink what's in that bottle, and I'll drink this delicious elixir right here.
It's all you, bro. It's all you.
That's what I thought.
You got the door.
Shut up. Uh-oh.
I just want to know if my motorcycle's getting an insurance claim or not.
Yana, I didn't know it was gonna hail.
Size of peas? Fuck it. It's Colorado. It's a dirt bike. Fuck it. It looked good.
That's right. It looked like you actually went out and
push my piece of shit car out in the driveway, quick.
What do we got?
There you go. Push the little daisies and make them come up.
We got pea-size hail. We're not bad. Ain't nothing getting broke today.
Oh, that ain't real hail. Stop it.
Hell no.
No, it's not. But that lets me know where I'm starting, and it lets me know where it's gonna go.
Yeah, good point. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm not making popcorn, ladies and gentlemen. That's fucking hail. Welcome to Colorado.
People thought maybe your wife had the Jiffy Pop thing on the stove, was moving it in a circle. You know, the thing was getting bigger.
No. That's
and thanks to Herm's new camera that he's going to show you in just a minute while I go upstairs, we can hear that crystal clear, the hail hitting your roof.
Oh, that's the studio mics. That's the good mics picking all that up. But yes, that
the good mic.
Popcorn. It sounds like I'm making popcorn back here.
Did you get
lovely looking kitchen?
That's the good mic.
Right.
He got that at the new McDonald's.
The new Yeah, that's the kitchen right there in the new McDonald's.
30 years old.
Until your wife comes in and I'm gonna smack shit out of all of them.
Hey, hold on a motherfucking minute. There'll be an angry fucking hobbit troll over there at the fucking steps in a minute. Fucking angry, tapping a foot with a hip and shit. It's coming.
You guys need to knock that shit off.
For real. So I hear that fucking fuck you and your new McDonald's coming from 3 fucking wings away. Fucking down the hall, around the corner, in another room. Fuck you and the new McDonald's. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's right. Back off, boys. She's
at
all
the Herm. at the Herm Mansion. She's in the East drawing room with Bruce Wayne and can hear that shit.
Well, most of the houses on the street have two. They're like ranches. There's a front half and a back half. And we have a front half and a back half, but somewhere in the 80s, somebody added another back half. So we have 3 sections of house. So our house, it's good size. It's good size. Somebody like a whole nother wing.
My house is like your house, but I stacked mine on top of each other.
Pretty much. Instead of pushing out, I could have a bigger yard, but they went with more fucking square footage.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know out there, if you were very curious, as Herm just laid out his house, he keeps his wife in the back 40. I just want you to remember that.
Yes. Yeah, she's only allowed back there.
Right. She cannot come into the common areas without permission.
Not written expressed permission from the property
from
owner.
The producers.
From the property owner, you know.
She has to wear booties, so
she'll hear that. She'll hear that and come down and give me some shit too. She's got a little chip on her shoulder that when everything went down with mom and dad dying and the lawyer, that everything just kind of got put in my name. She's kind of got a little chip on her shoulder that she's not on the house. And every now and then I drop, you might have to speak to the property owner on record. And that just no, honey. They only ask that the property owner is there when they come. I
can see your face turning red from the neck up.
I do it in jest, and it didn't happen that way. And I'll figure out what I got to do to get her on there and put it on. I don't care. It doesn't bother me, but I know it's a sore spot. So every now and then I'm like, no. They only want to speak to the property owner on file.
Oh, they have no reason to talk to the help, Jennifer. Not that I think she's the help, but I know.
I was gonna say like, no. They don't need to speak to the assistant manager. Okay.
All right, Karen.
They asked to speak to the owner. I'm gonna die. She's probably here.
When it comes to this house, woman, I am customer service.
That's right.
I wear the paper hat in this fucking house.
That's right. It's my toque. Damn it.
That's right.
I got the name tag in the paper hat, Tim.
This is Herm's Arby's, and he will feed you the meats that he sees fit.
Meats that I want.
That's right.
That I have. Okay.
If I want a triple Big Mac, I'll get a triple Big Mac.
This want to play with more fun than what the fuck is going on in the world lately.
Get it started. God. I'll be right back.
Good Christ. What the fuck?
So anyway, Herm bought a new camera. It's pretty cool. I like it. It tracks him around the room if he stands up. Autofocus. He puts his hand up, it zooms in. Puts his hand up again, it zooms out. It does. It looks really good.
I mean, we can show him the old camera, what I used to look like on the old camera.
Go ahead.
I was here.
Go ahead. We'll do a little tech demo.
This is Herm in the old. Do you see that shit right there? That nigga, that's green.
That's green.
Swear to God, it's green. Like it does good, but like see the color and all my face, and it's horrible. And it like. And that's 720, which really isn't shitty at all. It's not like I'm doing 480 fucking 4x3 1983 style, but for $200, this thing, I went through the reviews and for just under $200. It's really fucking insane. Like that's the green. Like the quality is absolutely nuts. And it doesn't matter if I flood myself with light, it readjusts, so I don't have to fucking sit there and see. I don't have to sit there with the eyes blown, with the light blowing in my face. It'll be awesome when we do colored lights and shit. And it also gives me the ability now to pull a second camera in with using one of the older cameras, that the other cameras that I had.
Look, Herm, you're back of the house. I'm front of the house.
Yeah. Like my back of the house, like it's tight. It makes the green screen tight.
Oh, I'm on an island.
Lovely. If Ozbot ever sees this, it's great shit. It's great shit. I'll bet Lynch buys
Why don't you send them a link to the show? Maybe we get some sponsorship. You know.
Yeah, you know.
Sponsored by Menon.
By Menon.
Welcome to Old
Because nobody
Spice.
saw that, right? Nobody saw that shit coming.
Beautiful Mount Airy Lodge.
Mount Airy Lodge. Save that for later.
I was like, where were they? Pocono. The Poconos. Oh my God. I was like, childhood memory kicked in. They weren't at the beautiful Mount Airy Lodge.
No.
I was like, he's going to love that.
Absolutely.
And to find out what the fuck we're talking about, y'all are going to have to watch the next show.
I had a background saved, and now I don't know where it went.
Oh, man.
When my wife and I first met, about 2 years into
she
dating.
checked into his background.
That's right.
Yeah.
Recognize.
Her father had a timeshare in the Poconos, so we went up there one February just to fuck around. And it was the traditional Pocono hokey, like honeymoon type suite with the heart shape.
I was going to say to have the heart shaped bed, and you
dude, it was
put 50 cents in the bed.
It was like
what ceiling. Mirrors on the ceiling.
I was walking into a time capsule, dude.
Oh man,
shag carpet, puke green and yellow walls, wood paneling.
Bed just. Y'all ever had sex on one of those beds?
No,
there's different models of those. There's different models. There's shake beds and there's vibrate beds. All right, so one bed,
I did not know that.
And we're looking at the bed from on top. One bed just sits there and buzzes. There's other beds are shake beds, and they do this, or they do this. And if you time it right, shake beds can help you out. They're great. Shake beds.
I will keep that in mind.
But yeah, like nobody knows that shit anymore. But like we're of an age where like we were the last generation to go anywhere where they might have a seedy hotel. Most of that shit, like the Mount Airy Lodge and the Poconos and shit, doesn't exist. It closed in 2001, and it's now a casino. But the loveliness that we had, yeah, you just got to adjust your fade in the video settings, sir.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
All right, you go into video. All right.
You know what? I'm just going to turn it off because
you scroll down and you see enable virtual background, and then down below,
I got that.
You either have a green screen or you don't, and then
Chris Burns to the information desk. Chris Burns to the information desk.
And then
trying to listen to her.
And then below that is a percentage, and that will fade you in and out. See, like I can go away and then bring myself back in, and then make it shitty. That's your fade. You find your sweet spot, and there you go, sir.
Yeah, well, somehow I'm not even here.
No, you're sitting down way in the corner, all the way back. I see you.
You're way
back there.
Back of the class. It's I don't know. It could be because your fucking background's a little busy. I don't know.
I don't know. Fuck it.
Did you tell it you were using a green screen?
No.
Okay.
I did it first.
All right. I'm just making sure.
Don't show me this warning again.
You know, that's great. We just see a nice classroom. That's a pretty car.
Yes, it is.
Settings.
Room.
Room. All right.
Yeah, I'm not playing with this shit anymore. Back to reality.
Heard back to reality.
So now that we've learned all about Herm's new toy, anything good happen during our time off?
I still don't see you.
There he is.
There you go.
Like if it decided to work. All right.
There it is.
Yeah, but you're not moving.
I got to turn this fucking thing off. This is
it makes it.
I need
it lags a lot.
Well, yeah, it's resource heavy. It requires it's resource heavy. The only reason I can do all of that shit with my even the virtual cam on mine with the new cam starts to lag just a hair. So I'll be buying some RAM shortly, and that'll never fucking happen again, ever in the history of the world, ever. You know, the problem is we got two countries who don't know what the fuck they're doing.
If that wasn't the funniest shit I've heard all week.
And literally, I'm like, is it that, sir? I felt like Smithers, sir, is it that? Or is it that you just don't really understand the actual fucking conflict in the Middle East, sir? Like, they know exactly what the fuck they're doing, sir. They've been doing it a long time because nobody wants to give, and every time somebody tries to give a little, the other side's a dick. So, like we saw last night, everybody's a dick. So then everybody has to be a dick. Do they not know what's going on, or do you not understand it? Jesus.
Well, so immediately that I saw the thing about the ceasefire, I'm like, that's kind of out of nowhere. You know, late in the afternoon on a fucking Monday. Oh, they ceasefire.
Yeah.
Because that typically when somebody comes to a ceasefire, there's an announcement that they're in the works of a ceasefire.
There will be one, and this is
right. None of that.
It was
we went straight.
That.
We went straight
to there's a ceasefire because I said so.
We went from bombing the shit out of each other. I mean, granted, the attack on Qatar and the other base, that was a showpiece.
I was going to say
there was no damage.
Iran, but Iran was like, listen,
we're going to send a few things over.
Send a few things over. Nothing heavy. You'll be fine. We're not really going anything, but we got to make some people over here happy just to shut the people up. So we're going to send some. We're going to send some fireworks off. They're not real missiles. So everybody knew what the fuck was going on because Iran was like, we're going to have a show. Just so you know later. Be ready. And they were ready and everything's good. Trump doesn't even understand. They called, bro. They literally did that just to make a show. The stuff with the Americans literally was just to make their people happy and shut them up. The same way he told everybody they were going to, get whatever those were campaign promises. That's what Iran made to the people.
Well, and for him to go running right out and actually his followers, his MAGA hardcore, Trump's the best thing in the fucking world. Yeah. Bomb. I'm like,
hold up, guys.
Dude, if Iran wanted to
of shit yet.
If Iran wanted to do fucking damage to that army base, actually just a military installation in Qatar.
They're doing it on the sly, in the dark, under quiet, and they're doing some heinous ass nasty shit.
They're gonna do to them what happened to Israel on October 7th.
Right.
It's gonna be that kind of surgery. It's gonna be a surgical strike, not just throwing some fucking hand grenades up in the air, hoping they land somewhere close to Qatar. I mean, the meme you Burns, was it you? The meme about was is now a military expert in Middle East.
Oh yeah, for the idiots online that don't. Every one of us knows someone like this. It's the little old guy, and he's got his coffee and his computer. He goes, "Yeah, I'm done being a tariff expert. Now I'm going to be an expert on Middle Eastern war.
Now I'm a tariff on Middle Eastern warfare and tactics."
I want to preface anything we say, the three of us, anything we say, anybody who's watching.
This is opinion.
We're not trying to be that guy.
No, I'm not. This is just opinions in general.
I have absolutely zero fucking military experience, but I have what I call observational experience with that. I've observed from 1978 up until 2025, I've seen a lot of fucking shit happen in our adult life.
Unfortunately, Joe Biden, let's be honest here. To switch over, Joe Biden is just slightly older than the Middle East nations are over there. Okay.
Yeah, most of them.
Some of those motherfuckers weren't even fucking anything until just around World War II. Some of those some of those countries are not even as old as my dad when he died. They literally were 3 years after your dad was born, this became an actual country. So they're not really fucking, they're not really old school anything.
And I encourage people to do a little research on Iran pre-1979.
Oh, you mean I was going to say you mean the British territories?
I really encourage
before the 20s, it was just a British suburb.
And I encourage people to educate themselves on what Iran used to be up until 1979, when the terrorist regime took over.
Right, when the
Ayatollah Khomeini took over.
Ayatollah took over power, it completely changed everything in the Middle East. He would, yes,
because pre-1980, Iran was a pretty progressive Middle Eastern country. Women could go outside of there.
That's because they were under. They were like India was for a long time. They were a British
Commonwealth.
Commonwealth. So there was not a lot of that shit that could come in. It was only after it was turned over from the British, when the British turned it over and said, "All right, guys, we're gonna let you take it. You've done really good." That these assholes waited and popped out of a fucking bush, and then said, "Let's unzip his pants." You know, so.
But they were very progressive.
Women could progressive.
Women could actually be women and dress
everything, all of that, dress,
just
colors,
like what you
clothes.
See.
They've dressed very
for I don't know when
take
Sheik
a picture
died
of the 1930s of people in Iran, and basically they look like Americans with tans.
If you watch the Iron Sheik documentary that's been out for years, and he talks about being a bodyguard for the Shah of Iran in the 60s, and you see a picture of the Shah and his wife and their children, and there's Sheiky baby standing there, full head of hair, to take on the world.
They could be any American couple in a very, very, very nice house.
Bingo.
And that's how they would. If you watch anything that dealt with them in video, all of that. There's none of that shit. They were regular, normal, first world style society. And then to you guys' point, in 79, when Khomeini took over, it went to burqas, and you can't show your face and you can't show skin. It became ISIS.
When I had an argument with some jackass online, I consider him a friend.
You.
When it comes to these things, he's a jackass.
Iran of 19.
I posted the thing about
is a very fucking beautiful thing if you go back and look.
Right. I had posted the tweet in response to Whoopi Goldberg once again sticking her foot in her mouth and saying black women in America in 2025 have it worse than women in Iran do right now, and another black woman chastised her. And of course, you can't just speak the truth without some of these people, like Lynch was talking about, absolutely sticking their foot in their mouth and making it about Trump or making it about DEI or making it about this. I'm like, dude, what this woman said was stupid.
Look,
but that's beside the point.
No, you don't. You have a completely different first world set of women's problems, and I'm not saying that they're. I don't want to discount that to any woman viewer or listener or anything, but any woman of any color in America does not have the same problems. Well, the roots can be the same, sexism and whatnot. Those are all those are all the same. But
that's a universal thing.
Those are universal. I would have to say that you've got to have a depth chart or a scale. Like, I don't think the female genitalia mutilation and whatnot, I don't think compares on a level to anything that is sexist against a woman in America.
Right.
And I'm a feminist, bro. I respect women, and I am a fucking not this new age bullshit. I'm an old school feminist. I think my wife is the shit, and I think a woman can pretty much do any fucking thing she can do as long as she's got the strength to do it. But
I'll make it even simpler. In America, if you have a disagreement with your husband, what's your husband going to do?
Right.
You might yell and scream.
Have you in that country? He can have you put to death.
Oh no, he can just walk you outside to the highest building, throw you off the building, and kill you.
Right, and then go find a new one.
It's okay.
Right.
Because
he's got 6 more in the back.
Right.
They'll go to the next the first 13
bitch.
They go to their first 13-year-old young female they can find and marry her. Because the Prophet Muhammad got married at 13, married a 13-year-old girl.
My point
I'm sorry.
on Whoopi Goldberg.
Look, I'm not going to judge religion at all. Anybody. I don't have religion, so I'm not going to judge anybody's for what they believe. Because what a Christian believes makes a fucking person.
Every religion is looking at from the outside. What every religion, and we've said this before,
I'm not saying that.
It's crazy. It's crazy if you just think about it logically.
You also don't need religion technically to be a good person.
No,
like, and I'm not accusing. First of all, I'm not accusing anybody here of that. What I'm saying is that there are people that I just want to be safe. There are people that think, well, because they go to church, that makes them better. Well, no, my money spends the same, and
your blood bleeds the same. You take a shit the same.
You know what I mean? Like my bills get paid.
I do it standing up.
My kids are good people. I pee standing up. I'm all right.
I shit standing up.
You know what I mean? That pictures or it doesn't happen, bitch.
All right.
No, we don't want to talk about pictures because I'm still pretty pissed off about Sunday.
Heard, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna. It's called the Burns Bill, and it is the bill. It's a new federal bill about to hit the House, and it's called the Burns Big One bill.
Yep.
And it's going to outlaw auto flush toilets because somebody took a poop that was amazing and huge.
It was glorious.
Glorious.
I am thankful for the auto flush toilet.
I was going to say.
I identify as an auto flush toilet.
I stand by it. I'm just saying. But personally, our friend is introducing legislation to ban the auto flush toilet.
Years ago,
everybody has the right to their opinion.
Before I finish the point on Whoopi Goldberg, years ago, a couple of my friends and I would send pictures of these monster turds that we would.
Oh, I know.
Just to ruin their day. Oh yeah, Lynch got a couple of them.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. yes. There's a lot of therapy needed for the staff of this show. So much.
You want to know something funny? I shared that story with my therapist.
I was going to say that is such.
What did he or she say?
She asked, "How was your weekend?" And I told the story. You want to let me? No.
Hold on.
I was telling the story about going up seeing Emma because I had prefaced last week. I'm going up to see my daughter. I was very happy, and she was asking about the trip before the official session started, and I said, I made my daughter's boyfriend laugh harder than I think I've made any other human being laugh. And she says, well, what did you do? I says, I don't know if I feel comfortable telling this story. Oh, come on.
Oh, boy.
You've told me worse. Okay.
Wait a minute. Hold up.
You asked for it.
I got to stop, and then we'll go into it.
Go ahead.
See, that's my problem. My problem is that I don't have any of that when I go to a therapist. It's literally just when I go to a therapist, it's an hour of my stream of consciousness.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna backtrack in case he got up.
So I have numerous times been asked to stop right there and just let me process some of the shit I just heard for a moment.
It was before the session. It was before the session proper got started. How was your weekend? I know you were going up to see your daughter. I mentioned that I made young Michael laugh harder than I've heard any human being laugh. Well, why? And I started with, it starts with a story that my friends and I were all still 12 years old mentally, and we would do this to each other. You knew somebody was going out, and you did this, and you sent them a picture. They could be at a romantic dinner with their wife, flip open their phone, and wah, 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 wah.
Ladies and gentlemen, insider tip, men don't grow up. We just grow old.
Correct. So, as I was...
Keep going, baby.
Okay, so I tell this story, and she's like, what are you mad at? What made you mad about it the most? It's like that the toilet flushed before I got the phone out of my pocket.
The fucking pickup, you dumb bitch.
This was the size of a good smallmouth bass. It was glorious. And the auto flush. And keep this in mind, we had just had lunch an hour or two prior at a really nice Mexican restaurant, so you know it was glorious. And I missed it. Anyway,
I haven't done this in a while.
You didn't miss it. The rest of the world did.
Correct.
You see.
Only I got to revel in the glory of the
sometimes
monster
that has to be like this, and then afterwards you're like,
no, because it becomes a fish story after that. First it was 18 inches, then it was 24 inches, then it got up and walked away. It becomes a fish story.
Listen, I just
pictures or it didn't happen, like you just said about 15 minutes ago.
There are times in my life that I fucking love you right now.
Thank you.
They're
far and few between when I feel what I'm feeling right now. And no, picture it didn't happen. I say that shit all the time. Why? Because it's true. That's why I take pictures of all the fucking food I take, because at some point somebody's like, prove it. Done.
I just came up with an idea. I want
this to become a fish story. Go ahead.
I just came up with an idea of a new game show.
Oh dear Jesus!
Oh God, here it comes.
You put up 3 tiles.
Oh fuck Christ!
And it's a turd in a toilet.
All right, guess gotta be an HBO special or
guess the celebrity turd.
Ooh, I thought maybe you're going to show a shape and call it fish or fowl, and the fowl would be a turd.
You could do that too.
No,
that could be the lightning round.
No, it needs to be. No, it's one guest. All right, one guest on the show. Here it is, one guest, 5. All right, and basically, you have to guess which one is theirs, but they're trying to lie. So they're talking. They're trying.
It's like to tell the truth.
Yes,
I was just thinking the same thing.
It's turd to tell the truth. All right.
Can I phone a friend? I need to use one of my lifelines.
It's turd to tell the truth. TTTTL. It's beautiful.
Wow.
It's 40L.
I love it.
It's 4TL. 40L. But there it is.
I love it.
All right. But yeah. One of them, and like
this is where
dumb shit. Like,
you're almost geniuses here.
That one's mine because we had like shepherd's pie. Like, so we need somebody who can No, we had shepherd's pie the night before. That's how I know.
This is where genius ideas are born, right here.
Something like this, and then it's turned into something that actually works. But this is only internet possible. But like there's some, I mean, we've had ideas like this before, gentlemen. Let's not lie. We've had some
dealing with genius here.
Fucking ideas that if there was
changing my name right now.
Look, if there was a fucking studio out there with any balls, I said it, any fucking balls at all, they'd let us pitch some ideas because
I just got a question.
Bangers.
Oh, yeah. I got a question for Lynch because he said something about phone a friend. Who the fuck are you going to call? Lalamere? Did Chris ever send you a picture like this? This looks a lot like his.
I was going to say, what do you do? You seen this turd before?
Because that's how it would go. Herm, no joke. This is how it would go. I wouldn't just send the picture to Lynch or Jim. There was like 6 of us in this game.
Yeah, see, I'd be all up in Chat GTP, and I'd be all up in it and be throwing a shit and be like, yo, where did I see this? Who sent me this turd picture originally?
Chris Burns.
Chat GTP is awesome. I bought the $20 a month version that remembers.
I've been playing around with it.
Shit. It's like you can tell it stories. I tell it stories about people at work, and then it knows. And then when it writes menus, it'll write like synopsis, like "Don't let Q do this because fucking he'll fuck this up."
Hey,
swear to God.
Remember when I was trying to make a point about Whoopi Goldberg?
Yeah, let's go back to that.
I find it difficult to believe that.
Hey, were you trying to make a point about Whoopi Goldberg?
Yes,
I think
I find it difficult. I find it difficult to believe that Whoopi Goldberg is going to tell anybody anything about oppression from her, let's see, her Newport mansion, her New York City high-rise penthouse gimmick Jones. This is a woman that has thrived despite all of this. If you listen to her,
I was going to say, not to interrupt again, not for nothing. She did come from a pretty shitty bottom when she.
That's where I was going with that.
That's all, and that's the only credit I give her. Man, if that's not a fucking rebound, but other than that,
but she thrived in a country, in a world, and when she sits behind that desk with the other cackling hens, and she says this stupid shit, I have to look at her and go, excuse me, are you currently working at, Chick-fil-A or, asking people, would they like a car wash with their fill up today? No, on national fucking television, making $250,000 a month.
Right. You're not a crackhead anymore.
Show.
You're not a crackhead anymore. And some of us are old enough to know that she at one point was a fucking crackhead. Like when she first broke out, before she got like HBO specials, and when she was first doing clubs, and before that, crackhead.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know that sometimes there's, and not everyone, because we have one on our show. Sometimes there is nothing worse than a recovered addict.
Oh, I thought you were talking about crackhead.
You haven't admitted your fucking problems yet. You have lots of shit left. But Lynch has admitted what his issue is, and he's admitted he's an addict, and he's better for it, and he's not detrimental to society because he's done it.
You think I got problems?
People there are people that quit smoking, and then there are ex-smokers.
Right.
Same thing. You really shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing that because it's bad for your fucking health. Telling me what the fuck I should do.
You know what's good for your teeth? What? Minding your own fucking business.
You got health insurance.
You're gonna need it.
You're gonna need it.
I still want to know what my problems are. Seriously, you opened the can of worms.
Well, let me go back to what Herm just said.
Oh, that's not for me. That's not for me.
No,
that's not my profession. No. I would just like to know what you want for dinner. Other than that, you're gonna have to talk to somebody else about what your problems are. I know there's
no problems.
We've all got them. I know I got.
Of course.
Some. I talk to my wife. She tells me what my problem is.
So
she has to. It's her job.
I was gonna say Lynch has a wife. He knows what his problems are. She tells him.
What? Because the sentence starts with, "Do you want to know what your problem is?"
Yeah. You know what the problem with you is?
Go ahead, honey. I'm all ears. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Go ahead,
Lynch, please.
Here's something that ties into people who say shit like that. She didn't remember where she came from, and as a black woman, why would you want to keep perpetuating that negative? I'm starting -10 instead of at 0. And that's been the problem. And it's not just black people. It's women, it's minorities, it's people who feel disenfranchised. We all have the equal opportunity. We're all given the same cards, 52 cards in life. Sometimes you get a good hand. Sometimes you get a really shit hand.
And there are no.
And it's up to you. It's up to you to become
and there are known factors that may be out of your control.
Exactly.
Affect that number of ability to get further than others. And I'm not being shitty. And this is
exactly leading into my next point. If you're dealt a shit hand, what are you going to do? You're just going to give up and fold, and just keep that baggage on your shoulders? Fuck no! You're going to learn how to play poker.
Look, my dad,
get ahead of it.
My father, who grew up dirt fucking poor, taught me that poverty is an amazing fucking motivator. All right, always wanting what the next better is on everything is a fucking drive.
Let me tell you something about that. Somebody is one of my coworkers, because if I don't eat something, I save it, put it, and have it later, or I'll leave it in the fridge for a couple days. And they asked, "What is it with you and leftovers?" I said, "You really want to know the truth? because sometimes I didn't know where my next meal was coming from. My dad worked 3-4 jobs when I was very young. My mom worked 2 jobs when I was very young. We weren't swimming in fucking dough. And they bought a house in a zip code that was well out of their fucking scope and range at the time because they wanted me to have a better crack in a better school system. So
kind of like Whoopi, she wanted better crack too.
For somebody who comes from that background,
it's similar to my
parents. From that,
like
I could have just said fuck it. I'm gonna be a fuck up, just like all my degenerate friends, and not rise above it.
My parents claimed to be poor, but they weren't. It's that they were fucking putting it away, so they lived poor in order to have it later. And
I wish my father had done that.
To make things like we ate fucking rice and frozen broccoli and government cheese casseroles during the winters and shit. Like we lived poor. And I didn't realize that we had money until I grew the fuck up and realized like we did. We just lived poor. Anytime anything had to happen, it just happened. Money got found. I don't know where the fuck it came from. It's because they were living poor and stashing everything.
Well, I wish Lenny had a talk with Larry back in the 70s because he would have been in a much better situation when he fucking died in 2014.
My father lived like he lived out in the fucking county his entire life. He ate dirt poor. He was fucking 60 years old and ate. If you want to see the most striking example of living poor that I've seen without telling somebody's living poor, I want you to watch my father eat chicken. My father ate chicken so clean because literally his mom would come and visit and she'd be joking, you always eat it so clean. And dad would literally look at her and be like, hey, and this was an inside thing. Hey, we might have to burn the bones this winter.
Wow.
Bones don't burn if there's fucking meat chunk on them. You eat every fucking thing and you dry them and you
make your tools out of it.
You once they're clean, you can throw them in a pile because they're not meat and rotten and they dry out and you got them. But hey, might have to burn the bones for heat. And she'd giggle in a manner that only like somebody who remembers how bad it fucking was, and it's not that way now.
No,
and I didn't get that until I was much older in life. I was like, "That's funny, burn the bones," and they looked at me like I was stupid.
Well, I'm going to circle back to my main point: is that the problem with this generation is they don't want to do the work, and they listen to people who they think should tell them what to think, because it's all fat. I said it a million times and I'll keep saying it. We live in a fast food society. Instant information, instant gratification. If it doesn't catch my attention in 30 seconds, I don't fucking like it. I'm being told what movies to see and being told what cars to drive. Or I'm hated because I drive a Tesla. Or how dare you shop at this store? That guy knows Donald Trump.
There are numerous planes and plateaus for being hated if you own a Tesla, and most of them are probably.
I'm just using it as an example.
I'm fucking with everybody.
You bought that, therefore you support Elon, therefore you're a fucking racist. Is that mentality?
Yeah, but he was their hero for 4 years prior to that.
Exactly.
No, I'm a racist because, well, never mind.
It's just. We operate.
Only when I drive.
Somebody made a joke to me, Lynch. Go ahead, please. I'm sorry.
We operate at a level of we're not really sure what the fuck is going on in the world.
Oh, yep. So now you're calling me Israel or Iran, bitch? Let's
not we. Not us, we.
You know what the fuck is going on?
The younger generation, the kids ate.
Is it
from like 16 to like 25?
Turn it off.
Yeah. Somebody made a joke to me the other day about the younger generation, and he could not have been more correct. He said, you could give today's generation a job sleeping, and they would wake up to quit and complain about it.
It's true. Absolutely true.
Yo, I was listening to the radio this morning. I was listening to to the morning show on the way in. I was heading in early. It's 8:00. This whole new promotion is nice. I make my own hours. It's beautiful. But anyway, I was listening to a morning show, which I don't usually get to do. And I was doing it on the motorcycle in my helmet. And they were talking about things that, not what is it? Not millennial, Gen Z has asked for in like the suggestion box at work. Like,
I can't wait to hear this.
All right, so like the top thing that they asked for, and that the morning show, these guys are fucking funny. It's a divorced dad rock station. It's awesome. But was like cubbies or areas where they could dip the fuck out in the middle of the workday for like, either like, hookups or, taking care of oneself. I'm like, literally, you guys are, what the
you
fuck?
want a spank spot?
You want a fuck room at work? I didn't even know that was on the fucking table of asking. Okay, I am Gen X. What the fuck? I didn't even know that was an option. Did anybody else have that on their fucking bingo card?
No, we invented half the shit they do that they claim are challenges now, and we never did.
There wasn't a challenge. That was just
life.
That was life, bitch.
That was Thursday.
We called that Tuesday.
Have you heard about this cool new challenge? Yeah, we invented that in the 80s.
Yeah, we invented that.
Sit down.
We did that because we were bored, and it was Tuesday. Only we did it with rocks.
That's right.
As far as our involvement in it, it was bound to happen. And I love that people seem to forget recent history from about, the mid 90s up until the Obama.
I've got the receipts right here. I've been waiting for someone to bring it up.
I'll be right back.
They seem to forget that every Democrat that has run for office since the 90s has said a nuclear Iran is a dangerous Iran. As far as the point where Hillary Clinton said, if I become president and they get nuclear capabilities, we're going to bomb them. Word for word.
Yep, I shared a video just like that earlier today.
So for AOC, the AOCs of the world, if you want to run around and listen to her bullshit, saying we're going to impeach the president. He did this without authority. Okay, Obama was the bomber in chief back in his presidency.
I've got those receipts too. I'll get to those in a minute.
With no congressional authorization.
I guess you know what? I don't have an issue with the action. He was well within his duty as commander in chief. All of this, I don't have any problem with this. Okay, as for tactically, I don't have any problems with this as far as overstepping or what he's allowed to do. They've been doing this since we were able to reach across and bomb, and we had people moved. Clinton did it. None of that. I'm fine. The president, I'm good with it. My issue is I don't think it was the exact perfect time or way, and I don't think it and put out and split out. I'm thinking I'm going to wait a couple of weeks, and we're going to see what's going on, and 2 days and less than 48 hours later, we've conducted an operation.
Only 2 presidents since Truman, 3 technically, but then he inherited a war, so Johnson's out. 2 presidents have not done a strike like this: Ford and Carter. Every other living president has used military force, not an act of war, but military force, and done something to stop some sort of evil regime.
I don't have a problem with any of that. My issue, I guess you could say, is the way it's, again, maybe it's the chef in me. Yes, it was edible, but your execution was for shit.
Yeah.
There it is.
In our chat.
The execution has been complete shit. Yep, they thought it was delicious. And some people think that's delicious. But you and I both know that's garbage.
You and in our chat, I'd said, and I'll say this to anybody, and it's funny the reaction I get from far right or far lefters. Anyone who
I was the first one in the chat to defend him on this. I clarified you like, no, absolutely.
Well, you did start with we're at World War III, which I thought there was a declaration.
No, what I said was we're now officially involved in a war. I didn't say we were at it. We were officially involved in a war with Israel and Iran. It was basically, and I didn't. And you thought, I understand that you thought that I basically said we are like war has been declared.
That's what I thought.
Right. So I wanted you to make sure you knew that I felt that he was completely within his power. I wasn't arguing that point at all. That's all that was. You know, like completely within his power. It's completely within his right as the chief.
Yep.
Again, that they ate it. It was edible, but your execution sucked.
But since 1993, for some of those people out there, and somebody actually made it into picture form who's a lot smarter than me. I just sent the information. Bill Clinton, Iran cannot be permitted to have a nuclear weapon. No option is off the table. George W. Bush was the free world cannot allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Barack Obama, I have stated that Iran will never be allowed to attain a nuclear weapon. Donald Trump, first term, Iran cannot have any nuclear weapons. Very simple. They just can't have a nuclear weapon. Joe Biden, when he was coherent in 2021, Iran will never get a nuclear weapon on my watch. Trump again, this campaign, Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities need to be completely destroyed and totally obliterated. So this is not something new. So I understand being a never Trumper. I understand people's hatred for this man. I get it. But to sit out there and outright lie and think you're telling the truth, I don't know how many people I've seen doing this in the last few days. It's just not, it's not right. It's not even truthful. Let's go through the list. Truman, Hiroshima, and Nagasaki after the war ended. Kennedy, Cuba, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia. Nixon, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia. Clinton, Iraq, Somalia, Haiti, Yugoslavia, Sudan. I didn't have, this is not my list, so they didn't have Reagan on here. There was Reagan did Libya and one other. George W. Bush, Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Arabia, Yemen. Obama, Afghanistan, Yemen, Iraq, Ethiopia, Kenya. Biden, Afghanistan, Yemen, Somalia, Niger, Iraq, Syria.
Niger.
It was Niger. You're right. I wrote it down wrong.
I'm fucking with you.
I wrote it down wrong. I read it wrong. I'm sorry.
You all know how we mispronounced it and made the joke about it when we were in elementary school.
Yep.
It with a soft double G, and we didn't know what we were doing. But yes, heard.
We were ignorant. Niger.
I like to call it Niger. Niger, like tiger, just to watch people be like, what? You know, the country.
This isn't
Eye of the Niger.
This isn't a new thing. I said this on I did a racing post not too long ago because somebody put up a meme that Bubba Wallace thought the white flag was racist, and I said, you know, every day you have this thing in your hand, and it's a world of information at your fingertips. A simple Google search would tell you that this is bullshit, but people eat it up. And then when you don't agree that it's real,
there is a definition, and there is. It's like when you go to the dictionary, and like there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they're all separate definitions for the same thing. That way, one definition is it's the white flag, and it's just giving us one to go. There are other things that use it for giving up. There are other things that use it for racist reasons. There's several reasons for that, but you're choosing to latch on to the one that you're not using in your sport.
Right.
Well, that and because he's black and everything, you know, that's the joke on Bubba is everything is racist.
Too proud.
Yeah.
Too black.
Right.
Too proud.
too dumb to do a simple internet search. Somebody the other day posted something about an executive order allowing teachers to be able to physically, by your shoulder, by your hand, whatever, to remove you from a classroom. If people lost their minds. Trump is advocating corporal punishment. Can you tell me in the bill where that says that? Because I read it. It's not there. It's not about what's being done, in my opinion. And this is where I'm going to kind of leave it to you guys, because I've said it in memes, posts, to people on the street. It's not about what's being done. It's about who's doing it.
Who's doing it.
Well, and that's the problem, is that unfortunately, it's not a definitive line. So they're allowed to help remove you. The problem is that where does the line to that stop? There will be people that tell you, well, I have permission to remove him from the room.
Oh, of course.
So but again, so you've got issues to deal with that. And if you're the type of person that wants to deal with that bullshit within your system, then you vote a certain way or you think a certain way. If not, you vote another way.
But this is another in a chapter of a book that I'd really, if I wrote a book like this, I'd be a millionaire in an hour about, Trump derangement. If Trump, my favorite joke that I tell people is, if Trump cures cancer, the headline on CNN would be, Trump hates people with AIDS.
Pretty much.
I'm not defending him. I'm not defending him at all. I'm not a big fan. But at some point, the unwashed masses have to look at something and go, you know what? This one, like Herm did. He's like, this one I might agree with. Doesn't mean you like him. It doesn't mean you're putting on the red hat and shouting, make America great again. It just means, look, I understand why he did it, and I'm here for it.
I'm not saying the way it was handled was the best, but he hasn't really broken any laws or anything. He's well within his right.
Right.
For me, it's just how the aftermath has been handled. I knew this was coming. It was a little sooner than I had anticipated. I figured at least a week. Then he'd just say, fuck it.
Well, he loosied the football. You have 2 weeks to comply. 48 hours later, he's sending B2s.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, here's the thing. It's been reported that he said within or in. If it's within, it's fair game. Because you're not giving him...
but that's...
You're giving him a little bit of rope.
Lynch.
You're kind of moving the football, buddy.
Lynch.
You're
moving the football.
Listen, no, I'm not. I'm not.
Look,
it is.
Let him finish, Herm. Let him finish. Let him finish.
Go ahead.
It is being disputed.
I'll chew you out in a minute.
It is being disputed whether he said in 2 weeks or within 2 weeks. If you say in 2 weeks, I'm going to give you the entire time for that 14 days to expire. You say within, it implies anytime between now and 2 weeks from now, I'm going to fuck your ass up.
The homework was due on Friday. Friday's not over yet. I still got 17 hours to finish this shit. I know what you're saying, but there's a loop around everything.
It's fucking ridiculous. I know. I'm not defending it at all. It's just whatever. It happened. Okay, let's move beyond what happened. It's been since then till now, this last night and this morning with ceasefire. No ceasefire. What the fuck are you talking about, Don? I didn't say nothing. Did you say anything, Israel? Nope. Didn't say a fucking word. We were talking about doing it.
Literally, within 90 minutes, Iran's like, we don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, and I apologize to you guys because I shared that.
It wasn't until today that there was somebody mentioning that they had agreed to term. Well, agreeing to terms doesn't mean there's a ceasefire. It just means we've agreed to the terms. That's it. Look, if there's a sale happening, I've agreed to a price. That doesn't mean I've bought the house. I've just agreed to a price.
The process can begin
against the house, against what? Yes, I've agreed to terms. Now we need to figure out how it goes down.
Yeah, he jumped the gun.
Like it doesn't, and he was like but the way he put it out was very I have brought peace to the Middle East. It's over. It's done. There is no war. And an hour and a half later, Iran's like, we're sending shit to us. 8 hours later, they're sending more missiles over. Israel that night is sending all kinds of shit just because before it's midnight their time, just because, midnight their time. So, yeah, we've agreed to some terms, but nobody said we're supposed to stop yet. For another 24 hours later, and they have definitely continued some shit. And Donnie wasn't happy because he, I guess, misunderstood what agreed to terms is.
Yeah, the guy who is the art of the deal.
The art of the deal. Those are the terms. All right, I'll agree to those. Have your lawyer and my lawyer talk about the fucking actual. Write it up. Nobody's written nothing up yet. We just said, all right, I agree on the price of the house. Write the deal up, because then you get to read the deal.
Yep.
He jumped
the shark on that one. He jumped the shark on that one. And his reaction this morning by, they don't know what the fuck they're doing is in frustration. He's frustrated. He's frustrated at himself.
They didn't do what he wanted them to do. And he said everything.
It didn't play out like he wanted it to.
Right. It didn't play out the way he said it had worked out. And now he's like, fuck. And there's nothing he can do.
I said 42 nickel right. And you did Flagstaff, Arizona right. That's the wrong play, motherfucker. So he's feeling like a frustrated coach. I get it. And he lashed out this morning, cursing at the press pool, which I think is fucking hilarious because it shows he is human. He gets angry. And I think it's good for a president to get angry and be angry once in a while to show frustration, whether it's with somebody else or yourself.
Right. I don't often stick up for him, but something he said after the airstrikes just really cemented that I think he did the right thing. Was how many I'm going to paraphrase, how many years have we heard from the Iranian people, their military, their some of their terror cells, death to America, death to America, death to Israel, death to Israel. Who's going to stand up and stop this instead of sitting back, sitting on your hands? So he did something. My question is, how long before some of these queers of Palestine, people, free Gaza, yada, yada, put an Iranian flag in their fucking bio picture this week?
I like to
call from Ukraine to Mexico to go ahead.
We're raising a.
I don't care. It's America. They're allowed to do whatever the fuck they want.
And I'm allowed to point out that they're fucking ignorant.
Yeah, you're allowed to point out that you feel that they're ignorant.
Queers for Palestine says everything I need to know about their IQ.
Right, but but that's based on the premise that people on
the royal you, yep,
royal you always bring that up, like they would kill you for the same thing that you're trying to defend them for.
Absolutely correct.
I feel that's a false equivalency. I'm not doing
absolutely.
It. I don't feel it's based on whether they give a fuck or not. This is how I feel, and everybody and every one of us understands, but this is how I feel. I don't care if they'd kill me. So I feel that shitting on them for that, because there's a lot of shit that I think that a lot of people don't. And if they wanted to shit on me, they can feel free to, but I don't really give a fuck because your point's moot.
You're gonna feel how you feel no matter what.
You can feel any way you want to. That's goddamn motherfucking America, man. That's patriotic. Feel any way you want to.
No argument from me.
You know what I mean?
But that's the problem is that
I won't judge you for that. I'll judge you like the way you cook your bacon and how you fucking roast, how you cook a roast.
This generation, those kids were raising professional protesters.
Yep.
That's what
this country needs professional protesters.
Do you understand what it is that you're protesting? Do you understand it? And I've seen it. James Klug, what's her name? Gabby, the younger girl. She goes, goes out to these protests and marches and shit. What are you protesting? Well, I don't know. I'm just here for the protest. But what are you protesting? No, I don't know.
I've seen Caitlin Bennett do that. Yeah.
Caitlin Bennett. That's who I'm talking about. I recently gotten into her. I knew she was there. I didn't really watch a lot of her shit.
She's fantastic.
There's some interesting things there. A lot of
she might be heavily conservative, but she points out the hypocrisy in some of these people's arguments, and that's what I like about her. That's why it's called Liberty Hangout versus Conservative Hangout or Liberal Hangout. Why are you here? Because it's cool, because it's it's the hip thing to do, it's the new pair of shoes. Charlie Kirk, as much as I disagree with what a lot of Charlie Kirk has to say, Charlie Kirk hits the nail on the head when he talks to these college kids who come at him from a position of authority because they're in college. And he goes, well, wait a minute, I have it right here. This is what it says. Well, no, because you don't understand the nuance. Well, what's the nuance? And they can't answer. They just can't answer. They know I'm supposed to feel pissed off about something, so I'm pissed off.
And that's the scam of college, is that kids aren't taught the knowledge. They're ingrained ideologies. And unfortunately, what is a college campus? It's a liberal workplace. They have degrees named after it, liberal arts.
I was going to say, you don't see conservative arts,
right? But my point is, a very large majority of colleges post our time going to school. When I was in college, it was a little bit more 50-50, where you had conservative and liberal people as college instructors. And I always noticed a difference in how each one taught. And we get all those older conservatives kind of went away, and they were all flooded with liberals. So we teach feelings and not thoughts.
Right. That was going to be my point, is they haven't taught you how to think anymore, which is when you went to college. That's what they did. They taught you how to think critically, think outside the box. No, they're teaching them what to think now.
Right. And it's unfortunate because a majority of these schools, you see those videos at Charlie Kirk, Caitlin Bennett, James Klug.
Klug is good. I like him.
And Billboard Chris too. I like Billboard Chris.
Oh yeah.
It just points out that it's not what it was. College is not what it was ever. Now, what it was intended for. It was intended for higher learning and challenging ideas. Absolutely. But then in that challenge, have the discussion. How do we get here? What laws governed you to get here? And it's all that's the nuance, how to navigate life and how to take what you learned and make it a toolbox instead of just a fucking paperweight.
Yep.
Now you're gonna feel this way about this because this is what your parents are paying me $100,000 for the next 4 years. So you're gonna feel how I tell you to fucking feel.
Talk to a college kid about the Supreme Court and ask them what the Supreme Court's job is, and they'll tell you it's to make laws. And I'm like, no, they're there to interpret laws and make decisions that the outcome affects all of us in America, whether we like them or not. The Supreme Court does not make a law. The legislative branch, the lawmakers, your Congress, your House, they make the laws. Supreme Court tells you if they're legit,
if they're constitutional, if there's any, does it violate any of your rights?
Wait. They tell us if they feel it's constitutional.
The interpretation of the law. There are some. You're right.
It is not a.
It's not black and white.
It's not.
No.
It's not objective.
Mm-hmm.
It's subjective, unfortunately, to a degree.
Absolutely. That's why.
Well, and I think that's the beauty of the Constitution, is because it has that subjective wording in it, because that we have changed as a country from the time that paper was written till here we are in 2025, and that mentality kind of turns the tide for how society operates, and how where we got a lot of our morals and insight from is the shit that happened in our lifetime between 1970 and 1990. So
look at some of the,
it's okay for those feelings to change a little bit here and there.
yeah, we move along as a society and as a country, and things are going to have to grow and progress, if you will. When you look at a Supreme Court decision and there's 9 justices and it's a 5-4 vote, the best thing about that is you get to read the dissenting opinion. It's put out there for the public. Yes. This is why I voted no, and this is my interpretation of said law. So in that, but all 3 of us are correct. Yes, it's subjective, but in many cases it can be objective, but we don't live in that society anymore. It's so much us against them that it's no longer we the people, it's we the party, and fuck you, Nazi, if you don't agree with me.
Right. And people, because we live in that fast food society, people think that, well, why isn't the law changed? It needs to change tomorrow. That shit takes time. Mm-hmm. It goes through layers and layers of court before it hits the Supreme Court's desk.
Roe versus Wade.
It only hits the Supreme Court's desk once it's gone from local to every fucking level of judicial and local, then federal government. It has to hit the top federal court before it goes to the Supreme Court. It's because all those motherfuckers behind them couldn't make a decision. Okay, Supreme Court, do your job. They're the CEO. They're the CEO. Right. Everybody else underneath them, all the other fucking judges and courts.
You had your chance.
They're all vice presidents and CFOs. That's their job. That's what they do. And it takes time to change any law.
Absolutely.
There's shit going into law in Connecticut as of July 1st that was written 3 years ago in foresight of something that's going to happen in 2025. That's how predictable a lot of this shit is. If we do this now, this is going to happen in 3 years, so we need to address it then.
I was not a fan of Roe being overturned. However, to hear people talk about it, we're going, and I hate the lazy argument. It's going to be like The Handmaid's Tale. No, it isn't. Because you don't read, you don't understand.
Not nationally, but individually, to an extent.
In certain states,
you want to live in certain. If you live in certain states, bro, and to be honest, my personal opinion, and this is me. Mm-hmm. I am definitely the most forethought hanging out. I hang out with kids all day at work. I work at a fucking state campus. It's a very liberal environment.
Mm-hmm.
What was I saying? Fuck.
About Roe versus Wade, The Handmaid's Tale.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of states where it's really, really bad.
Yes, really, Mississippi, Georgia, Texas. And
there's a case that was emerging.
If what I feel are the civil rights of one are affected, it might as well be everybody. Because that as a true libertarian in the middle, if it fucks with anybody's rights, I got a problem with it.
Yeah, and that's why I was not happy when it was overturned, because whether or not I think abortion, and you know my argument here is I don't think abortion should be used as birth control. You had your chance. You wouldn't skydive without a parachute. If you don't want to be a mother or father, protect yourself. Both of you should protect yourself. It's how I taught my daughter. However, I don't think that right should be taken away. Just out of hand.
No, you know what I mean? And there are definitely some states that are pushing the ability to.
So there's a case out there where this woman
fucking take this.
Is this the Georgia case?
The Georgia case of the woman who was clinically brain dead and pregnant. The hospital would not perform a C-section because that state's interpretation of the law is that is an abortion.
That's considered an abortion.
C-sections are considered a fucking abortion. And that poor woman who was just a fucking flesh vessel for this baby who's all fucked up now because they allowed this to happen.
They've made her a birthing pod.
Yeah.
And this fucking poor baby is going to fucking suffer for the rest of its life if it lives that long, because it was being pumped full by artificial bullshit fed through the dead mother.
Yep.
How,
and to me,
how ignorant is that to think that you can't deliver that baby when it was viable to give it a fucking chance in an incubator?
And that's where I come in. That's where I come in, even though I'm probably more pro-life than I am pro-choice, although I don't want you not to have a choice. Hear me loud and clear for those of you online who like to say you know what I'm thinking. Here, I'm giving it to you on a fucking platter. I don't have to like it, but I support your right to have it. This woman, and this is where I'm going to go a little bit religious, was raped of her dignity to just die a natural death because this state had an archaic law. And like both of you said, she was a vegetable. She was a birthing pod. She was basically a tool of the state at this point to get their point across.
And I'm sorry, that is inexcusable. That is cruel and unusual punishment. That is a clear definition of cruel and unusual punishment. I mean, if I were in any sort of capacity that could bring that in front of the Supreme Court, I would absolutely fucking do that. How is that not? And that would be my case. How is that not cruel and unusual punishment? Tell me, this once she was clinically brain dead, we could have delivered the baby. Now 2 people are impacted.
Yep. And even the trickle, now you get the ripple effect. You've already dropped the pebble in the pond. Now the ripples, you have the family, you have, her husband, if she has one. I know her immediate family was tore up and they've been in the news.
Yep.
This doesn't just affect one person. It affects a lot of people. And that's kind of, I mean, again, not that it's ever happened to me, but I know dudes that have, impregnated a girlfriend or someone, she has an abortion. There's no discussion. My body, my choice. Well, you can't get yourself pregnant. That's a discussion. However, you should have the overwhelming, your 2 votes to his 1, if that makes sense. Right. Like a CEO. The CEO gets 50 votes, but the board members each get 10, and it works its way down. Somebody has to be the tiebreaker. I don't know. I just think the state of Georgia and this whole case, just took this woman's dignity away from having the death. Not that she deserved death. It was unfortunate she was in this position, but man, they didn't do right by her at all.
No, it's very sad. Very, very sad. Oh, and Florida busted up a child human trafficking ring.
Good.
Today. Involving 62 young men and women, boys and
children
girls.
From where?
All over the world. Some of whom pregnant at 14.
Are we supposed to care about this? Because, if they're technically not from here, are we supposed to? What did the president say we're allowed to feel on this?
Oh, God. I'm going to tell you this. Anybody who tells me I should not worry about a child of any age from any country can go fuck themselves.
I'm just saying, what did the president say we're allowed to feel on this? And
me, the guy who was accused online of being a hardcore Trumper, which you 2 know that is not true. Anybody who tells me I should not worry about a child from any country, especially DJT, can go fuck themselves.
Yeah. It's just, but that this stuff actually happens, people. This isn't this isn't make believe.
A couple years ago, when the Super Bowl was in Houston, they busted a sex trafficking ring that featured children as young as 11 years old. That they were going to sell. It's just this happens.
There's a baseball player in trouble for a relationship with an underage person, and he's paying the parents hush money to keep.
This is going on now?
Yes.
I was going to say, this sounds a lot like Mel Hall from the 80s.
This is going on now. My coworker Andy was talking about it, and I only half heard it. But
he's involved.
That's fucking crazy. Fuck you, dude.
Fuck you.
He's in it.
He's involved. Don't let him fool you. He's got little Taiwanese boys in his basement right now that call him sir.
Yep.
And
they make a mean drill.
I kind of
Why do you think I got so many Ryobi tools in my basement?
Yakaloin, good to keep the yang up.
Where'd you get that new computer, Chris? Oh, my sons. They built it for me.
Jesus.
Come here, Ming. Show them what you can do, Ming.
Okay. I do dance. Jesus.
Ling Lynch.
Housekeeping, you want blowjob?
Oh, toothy blowjob? No toothy.
Luckily, we're 7 minutes from the finish line. Herm can stop rubbing his forehead.
No toothy blowjob? Gum?
You want me wear outfit?
Ooh, you so big?
Well, I'm coming, Mom. Hold on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
Wow. We went around the horn there a couple times.
It's not so bad. I think it would have been boring if we had just stuck with the Iran, Israel, America, let's bomb the shit out of each other topic. We talked about gigantic turds. Now we're talking about child sex trafficking and all sorts of neat shit that makes Herm's fucking forehead throb.
Not that that's okay. Disclaimer.
Dude, if there's one thing in my life that is a goal every single fucking time is to make him go, oh my God. And it's been like that since 1988.
Year of our Lord.
The year of our Herm.
While. Welcome back 30 years ago. I'm at a fucking time machine.
Right? Marty, we've got to get back to 1985. It's not you, it's your son.
He's an asshole.
No, it's your kids. They're assholes.
Every fucking one of them.
Jennifer, get in. This involves you too. Oh, that's just too easy now because Herm's wife is named Jennifer. Get in. Your husband's an asshole. I don't need to get in to know that.
Oh,
get
shit. I knew that when I married him. Get the fuck out of here.
No, I'm Mikey McFly. I'm his cousin.
When she gets tired and then she gets like pissed at work, like the East Coast in her comes out mad and they don't know what to fucking do with it. Like, they don't understand. They're like, don't you want a glass of water? Glass of what? Water?
Water?
Glass of what? Water? I don't know what you're saying right now.
Watch her.
Yeah, like today when I was putting myself together in the mirror.
Mirror.
The mirror. I'm sorry.
Fucking Norwich accent.
The mirror. No, it's like it's New England. It's like Boston, New England. It's all of that. Like the mirror.
I like doing that.
Put the car in the yard.
What is it like? And then she's literally somebody's looked at him and like.
I liked doing that when I lived in other places.
No idea.
Because
dude, let's go get a coffee milk.
Yo,
you guys.
No. It's Midwesty here, so it's a cup of coffee. It's a cup of coffee. Cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee.
Cup of coffee.
My favorite thing to do.
We drink a cup of coffee here. Coffee.
Coffee
with cream.
More coffee?
Regular. Coffee.
I am guilty of the most New England thing.
F-E-Y. Coffee.
I am guilty of the most New England thing ever, no matter what state I'm in. And you guys will back me up on this. I don't tell you how many miles it takes to get someplace. I tell you how many minutes.
No, we didn't. No. What? Oh, it's only an hour and 32 minutes, hour and 37, maybe, depending.
How far to Boston? About an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But how long? About an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yes, the mileage is. It's 2 hours to get there.
That's right. Watch. Get in your car. Find out. Set your watch. I'm right.
Well, because back then we were more worried about the time. You know what I mean? We got to get to the good. We got to get to the good times. Oh, we're going to see his socks. Fuck. Do I have the time? Yeah, let's go. How long does it take to get there? About an hour and a half. Cool. I'll be able to go to work in the morning.
Well, Park got caught at Star Market and walked to Fenway Park. What a great idea.
What a great idea.
We'll go to the Walmarts.
You do your job. You do your job. I'll do my job.
Mexican, but it's with a G. We go to the Walmarts. The Walmarts. The Walmart.
I was today years old when I heard that.
It's GWA. The Walmarts.
Herb and I have talked about that before. Walmart. Welcome to Walmart.
Walmart's.
Walmart's.
All I know is all the old ladies around here call it Walmart's. Like it's like you're going to more than one in the same spot.
Oh, we're going to the Zayres.
Everybody always
Zayres, yeah.
JC Penney's.
Yeah,
No,
it's
it's
Pennies.
Penny. There's no S on that motherfucker.
The one in the Sears is there.
I've never heard that. I've never heard Sears's.
I've heard Sears's. What kind of pants are those? Oh, they're Sears's.
That Robux, yo. Robux fucking button fly, kid.
Tough skins, bitch.
Tough skins.
I swear to God.
What was the shoe store on Route 12 in Groton? The kids one.
John Aliens?
No.
John Aliens.
Had that
there was.
They
did Keds and they did Buster Browns.
Buster Browns. That's the one. Buster Browns.
That's where my parents used to take us to get shoes. Everything. It was not John Alien. It was fuck. John Alien was the adult store down that
over across the street.
Well, no, same place, same strip mall, but down the street store, because they were adult shoes. But it was
John Elion. Wow.
The fuck.
The old ski loft.
Because it's
where
because that same store, the shoe store there, is the same place that you used to go and get all the stuff you needed for your Cub Scout, Boy Scout, your Cub Scout uniforms, all your badges, and when you earned it, you went to it and you had the thing and you showed them the thing that said you earned it, and then they would hand back. Like when I got the Arrow of Light and all that top shit, like that, you had to like show up with the fucking authority for them to sell it.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't remember. Youth Colony.
That's it. Youth Colony.
There it is.
That's the one.
Bitch. Youth Colony. The computer still fucking works. Ah!
Wait, I thought that's where the kid. I thought that's where they get the Taiwanese boys.
Yeah, it was Keds and
no, they're at my basement.
And
they have a job.
They were great.
They have a job.
There.
I do a good job, Daddy.
Oh my God.
I do a good job.
Anthony's involved. I don't care what you say.
Daddy, can I come upstairs? Can I come upstairs?
Oh, feed me 4 hours.
Oh dear God.
I'm going to hell.
Oh dear.
Don't worry, Herm's driving.
Gasoline shorts, bitch.
Come back next week. We will discuss you even further.
Yeah,
and,
please.
If you like NASCAR, join us in a half hour on the Speedway Review. We're talking about the worst track ever in the history of ever. Although I did watch 2 of the races.
No.
That's right. I did watch 2 of the races from Pocono.
I watched the truck race and some of the cup race.
Okay, I watched Xfin and truck.
Nice.
I listened to the cup race in the car.
We're good then. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I actually paid attention this week because I know you don't like so I paid attention a little, so it wasn't just like Corey talking for an hour.
Who won?
Find out at 8 o'clock.
Denny Hamlin came in second. That's all I know in the truck and the cup race. And then
this came in 3 days late, but the truck race was won by none other than Lane Riggs.
Yep. That's a name you don't hear too often.
The Xfinity race was won by Connor Zilich, and the Cup race was won, even though she didn't pick him 5 times, by Chase Briscoe.
By some asshole that wasn't Denny Hamlin.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess say something nice, guys.
Something nice.
Sweetheart, you got a great set of tits.
That is very nice. Thank you.
See what I'm saying? That's nice.
I bet you say that to all the Taiwanese hookers.
Just the boys. It's a special one for the boys. Let's hear it for the boy.
I quit. I hate that song. I fucking hate that song.
Oh, you and me both.
It
was stuck in my head yesterday.
All right, so I'm just gonna do this.
Sleep soundly in your beds tonight.
Like, I'm saying this as an atheist. I need to go.
Iran has won the toss, and they've elected to receive.
Nice.
Oh, that
Nice.
me? Oh, Papa, can you come upstairs?
I just had a thought while the theme was playing, and then I'm gonna
Yeah.
here. I'm gonna tell my paid Chat GTP subscription to watch this podcast, and then I'm gonna ask it questions.
All right.
God, that would be.
This will be
epic.
fun.
So
Daddy, hey,
I want you to watch.
Papa,
I want you to watch this YouTube.
Papa, me build computer.
And then see.
Can I
And
come
then,
upstairs?
then
No.
I'm gonna have it come up with show ideas.
Nice.
Oh, you listen to me. Go downstairs.
All right. See you guys soon.
Good night,
Papa.
boys and girls.
Papa, help me. I'm hungry. Yay.